Hello guys and welcome back to some more Matsuribayashi. We're heading over to chapter 8 after a pretty long last episode. Still kind of on the high of Team Mion. Dude, it's so, I don't know, so surprising. I think the most surprising thing was freaking Natsuhi, dude. Team Natsuhi. I was always under the impression that Natsuhi was like one of the least favorite characters, but apparently she popped off, dude. Love it. So no new tips, but that's fine. That's fine. Anyways, back on topic. We sort of have a game plan going. We'll see Tomotaki can find any dirt. Currently we're in hiding. I think we're either going to I think we're probably going to see like Takano POV or something this chapter, like not focusing on Rika, or on the other hand, maybe we'll see the other club members learning the truth and stuff. But yeah, let's just get into this. Don't need any long intros here. It's 2021, dude. No more food dates. Well, I guess I was wrong.
古出さんと北条さんは今朝風邪をひいたのでお休みと連絡がありました。今季節の変わり目で大変風邪をひきやすい時期です。暑いからといってお腹を出したり
I wonder if Hani went to school. I guess she could. Because she can just phase out of existence, so it's not like she can really be captured.
いいですね。はーい。二人とも一緒に住んでるから一緒に風邪ひいちゃったんだね。リカちゃん、あさっての綿流しだけど、ミコさんの役大丈夫なのかな
祭りはみんなで遊ぼうって話なのに、二人とも風邪ってんじゃな。
You don't know. Notifications. Always when I record.
なあよ、帰りにみんなでお見舞いにでも寄らないか。何か冷たいものの差し入れでも持ってさ。
その必要はないよ。それより二人ともさ、今日の帰りおじさんの家に寄ってもらいたいんだけど、いいかな。
Mion usually enjoys ideas like bringing people's food when there's true. That's factually true. You've seen it. For whatever reason, she was a little curt today. Actually, she's been acting a little different since this morning. Even when I talked to her, her thoughts seemed somewhere else. I've noticed it in this chapter, or this episode so far, and the last episode. We're getting a weird, it's like first person POV, but it's also like showing their sprites, so it's a little different. Because I usually don't do that. But like last chapter we were Rika POV, but they still showed her sprite when talking, so which is kinda like the Uminato thing, but I'm wondering why they just switched to that now. Now she's asking Rena and me to stop by her house. I mean, I think it is a little better. But maybe I think the main reason they did it was because it's hard to distinguish without text boxes and stuff, but I don't know.
何かあるの？うん。ちょっと大切な話があるんだよ。ここではできない。
Bum. Yon seems calmer than usual, which told me that it was about something very serious. Oh, well, there are a lot of patients running into the clinic just before lunchtime. We're quit switching already, I guess. Because of that, lunchtime at the clinic is always later than normal people's. It's just a short break, though. Our afternoon shift begins right away. Probably Takano. Or Irie. The staff were enjoying their break, eating their delivery lunch. I mean, this is probably eerie. Why would Tatano be thinking of this? They can eat basically anywhere they want as long as the patients can't see them, and it's not a place we need to keep sterile. You know what it means. I know what it means. I just don't know how to say it. Because it's hot and humid, the meeting room with its air conditioner ends up being a popular place. The staff all eat their takeout lunches there. And I'm the director of this clinic. They might feel uncomfortable eating with me around. So I usually eat my lunch in the director's office out of consideration for them. Today I ordered lunch from a soba shop. I got an extra large. I mean, I've only had soba once for a breakfast, funnily enough, in Japan, but it's quite good. I bought some frozen soba in Canada. It was it was actually like pretty bad compared to just like instant ramen. But yeah, I am a soba fan. It's very nice. An extra large serving of mori soba, that is. I don't know enough to know the kinds of soba, but mine was just noodles and a piece of chicken or shrimp. For whatever reason, they just call the dish an extra large. That makes ordering it complicated, since if I order an extra large and a kitsune udon. Oh wait, maybe I'm thinking. Ooh, I was thinking of udon. I'm confused now. They'll just deliver an extra large kitsune udon instead. But I've had soba for sure. I was thinking of the frozen udon, not soba. But this is really like. But is this really a large? Isn't okay? Wait, I'm confused. Now my brain's racing. Isn't like udon just the soup version of soba? Yeah. Wait. Udon. Okay, no, they're two different type of noodles. All right. Sorry, I'm tripping. Anyways, let's continue on Ire describing his lunch. But is this really a large? It looks more like a regular size to me. As I recall, the owner of the restaurant has hurt her lip, so she must be having a hard time keeping things running. I was still thinking about that when Takano-san came in. She was carrying a really large size order in her hands. Apparently she ordered a regular mori soba and I grabbed the wrong one by mistake. What a hassle.
本当にわかりづらいですわよね。何か目印になるものでもつけてくれればいいのに。
True?
同感です。例えば、大盛りって書いたお子様ランチの旗みたいなのが立ててあるとかね。
Takano-san must have liked that idea. She laughed for a while.
よかったらご一緒にどうです？
I invited her to sit on the sofa.
ではせっかくですので、すみません。冷房をちょっぴりだけ弱めてもらってもよろしいですかしら？
ええ、それは失礼しました。
It is kind of crazy how nice Takano can be right now. Like, she seems like a nice, fun person when she's thinking that, well, when she's eventually gonna kill Irie, so. I mean, I guess that's also a compliment. Hats off to her.
よいしょ。ピッピッと。
Come to think of it, I haven't really talked too much with her. We were rather distant from each other, partly over the guilt of the organization becoming the Ire Institute. So with that on our respective positions, we had a tact-turn agreement not to pry too deeply into each other. Since our attitudes towards the research are different, we've never mingled before. Never ever? So chatting over lunch is a good way to get closer to her. I wonder what she likes to talk about while eating. I guess I should start a peaceful conversation. I don't want it to go off about something like tapeworms. We're having lunch after all. And while I tried to come up with a topic, she started talking instead.
さっきのお子様ランチの旗の話。懐かしいですわね。今時のお子様ランチにはまだ旗は立っているんでしょうか。
I mean, there's some flates on meals in Canada, but I don't think particularly on kids' meals. Like, maybe on burgers, but I can't even remember the last time I saw a flate. I'm pretty sure they're just there on burgers to, like, keep the burger from falling through, like, stabilize it.
さあどうでしょうね。
But it wasn't, at least in my experience, it wasn't that popular in my childhood. The flates in meals.
ああいうのは一つの様式ですからね。案外もっと未来になって宇宙旅行が実現するような時代になっても宇宙船の機内食のお子様ランチには旗が立っているような気がします。
Irie invested in space travel. Cross's space travel agency? Is that a coincidence? Question mark?
それはなんだか面白い話ですわね。そんな未来になっても子供たちはあの旗を夢中になって集めるのかしら。
Honestly, people collect everything, so wouldn't be too surprising.
旗をおやおや、そんなことをされていたんですか。
あら、所長は子供の頃にしませんでした？お子様ランチの旗集め。
まさかまさか。私たちが子供の頃のお子様ランチといったら裕福な家庭でなければなかなかありつけませんでしたよ。
Maybe that's why I didn't see any flights.
私の家ではとてもとても。
そんなことありませんわよ。うちは貧乏でしたけど、たまにデパートに家族で行くと必ずデパートの最上階のレストランに入りましたもの。
I was wondering when she would have the time to collect flights, but I guess it was even before the orphanage then. No, I think they... Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
デパートに連れて行ってもらえるのはお子様ランチ
Bro.
が食べられるというのと同じ意味で。
I totally forgot. They talked about this before the fragment stuff. That Takano was mad that that her parents went to the mall without her because she likes to collect the flights. Dude, that totally escaped my mind.
だから両親が私の留守の間にデパートへ行ってしまうととてもへそを曲げたのを思い出しますわ。
There you go. Flashback. Good, nice refresher. Dude, how to win Takano back. Tomodachi comes in with a bunch of blades, man. It's actually a bouquet of blades.
高野さんの子供時代もできそうですね。
Oh boy.
でも私一人を残してデパートへ出かけて二人ともバスの事故に巻き込まれて死んでしまいましたわ。
It's not funny, but imagine just having this fun conversation and then someone just drops that on you. Then you're like, especially after you say your childhood was fun, it's just like a ooh moment, you know?
その連絡が来るまで私はずっと両親を恨んでて、今頃デパートのレストランで私をのけ者にして美味しいものを食べてるに違いないって憤慨しててあと1本で旗が確か20本になるはずで、20本が小さな目標だったので、それを達成する機会がまたとひどい話ですわね。
It must have been horrible to lose her parents at the age when she was still interested in collecting flates from kids' meals. It's obviously still a painful memory for her.
そうですか。それは知りませんでした。ひょっとしてそれが医師を目指された動機ですか。
は？どうして？
ああ、いえ。私が医師を目指したのは自分の家族に関わることが理由だったので、てっきり高野さんもそうだったのかと。
I mean, this Irie Takano bonding might also sway. I don't know. I'm still hopeful that we can sway Takano. And then we'll just be up against Okanodi and the China squad, you know?
私が医師免許を取ったのは
ひなみ沢症候群により近づくために必要だったからですわ。失礼な言い方をすれば、研究のためついでに取った免許ですわね。
How interesting. Even when she was still at medical school, she already knew about Hinamizawa syndrome.
そういえば、こんな処方のことも私は知りませんでしたが、高野さんはどこでひなみ沢症候群に触れられたのですか？高野先生の研究を掘り出すうちに発見されたというような話を聞いていますが、医大に通われていた頃に医師の勉強と並行してもう症候群の研究に入られていたとは驚きです。私など盆栽でしたので、医師の勉強だけで精一杯でしたから尊敬しますよ。
ひなみ沢症候群の研究に携わったのはもっともっと前からですわね。
I'm surprised like Tatano was so serious not to tell anyone. I'm surprised she's telling Irie. But I guess like Irie is not like really part of Tokyo, so it doesn't matter too much. And I guess it doesn't matter in general since she's planning on nuking Hinamizawa, so what does she mean? How old was she when she first found out about the syndrome? In fact, why did she become familiar with it at all?
私の実家はさとこちゃんやりかちゃんたちと同じで親戚がいませんでしたの。それで施設に引き取られてそれがもう本当に劣悪な施設でして。
You remember how there was a flood of war orphans back then? I was in a truly awful orphanage built solely to gather up those children and bring in government subsidies.
それを訴え出た時に助けてくれたのが祖父高野先生でしたの。
では、あなたは高野先生と生活なされていたのですか？なるほど。研究資料に若くして触れることができていたのも納得です。しかし、なぜそれを伏せられていたのですか？
まあ、大人の事情ですわ。
Made sure she's like legitimately like trying to solve the or research it and not doing it like a hand. I don't know. She did with good reasoning in the fragments, alright. I'll just go back to there.
フード病研究のために予算を求めるのと死んだおじいちゃんの研
There you
究の
go.
ために
That's a good way to put
予
it.
算を求めるのでは少々事情が変わってきますから。
なるほど。長いことの疑問が氷解しました。あなたが高野先生を語る時の尊敬の眼差しは、一研究者に対するものとしては説明できないものでしたので。しかしそこまで高野さんに尊敬させるとは、よほど人徳のある素晴らしい先生だったんでしょうね。
さて、人徳はどうだったでしょう。誰にも理解してもらえず、ずっと孤独に研究して、そのまま病死してしまいましたもの。祖父は孤独を愛する悪い癖がありましたので、協力者を得られなかったんですわね。
でも高野さんという優秀な助手がいたじゃないですか。そういえば高野さんも先生も読みは同じ高野ですね。
Question mark? Eerie, she just said that he adopted her. So she just took on the name. Come on, bruh.
ええ、本当の名字じゃありません。
But I guess she modified it, so I guess it would cause a little bit of confusion.
祖父に敬意を表して同じ名を。本当は漢字も同じにしたいのですが、クライアントに説明するときに誤解されたくないと思い、読みだけを残して漢字を変えたんですわ。
Now I could see the connection between their two last names. That also revealed the connection between first names, Hifumi and Mio, too. She doesn't need to tell me anything more than that. She lost her parents when she was young, and Dr. Takano took her in and loved her as if she was his own child. To show her love and respect, she decided to call him her grandfather. Now I know. That's the reason why she devoted herself to researching Hinamizawa syndrome. I now understand how she must feel knowing her research is soon to be terminated. Rita-chan said that she was hurt. Although I didn't know anything about it, I may have said something to hurt her before. I only cared about the treatment and the extermination and didn't care about anything else until today. She must have considered that blasphemous towards her grandfather. Now I know why she's become aggressive every time I express how I felt. After she was told her research would be terminated, she stayed up all night and gathered up lots of documents. She went to Tokyo and requested an extension without depending on anyone else. That request was rejected. The documents she used are now in a box in the underground storage. She must have exerted a lot of effort to put them together. Even someone without any knowledge of our research could easily understand what she was trying to say. However, it looked like some of those documents weren't even opened. And some had marks that told me they weren't treated the way documents are supposed to be. I'm sure some pages had observed her tears without me ever knowing. I heard from Tokyo that Takano-san had left a terrible impression with the board of directors. It's not easy to overturn a bad impression. In other words, she can never request an extension on her research ever again. I was there when she found out about it. I was there when she found out that she could no longer continue her grandfather's research, even though she must have promised him that she would complete it.
高野さんは入江機関閉鎖後にも個人研究を続けられますか？
入江機関が閉鎖するときには症候群は撲滅されていますわ。病原体をシャーレに残し、誰かをさらって感染者にして研究しろと。個人で機材も予算も施設もなく、誰にも顧みられなかった祖父のようにホルマリンの匂いのこもった書斎で誰にも評価されず、ざれ言だと笑われるためだけに研究を続けろと。もう若さもなく気力もなく、ただの負け犬に過ぎない私に何を続けろとおっしゃるんです。
Tomodachi-san once told me that the Irie Institute was supposed to be the Takano Institute, but our clients didn't like the idea of a young woman heading the facility, and that's why I was invited. Bruh. Extra disrespect. I thought it was just because they wanted a scapegoat that's not Takano, but damn. That explains why she's been unfriendly since the day we met. It must have been blasphemy to see me going on about Hiramizawa syndrome and decide on a research plan according to my values and morals. To Takano, the syndrome is her grandfather. She must feel his presence when she's researching it. That's the reason why she often stays at the institute until late at night, so it makes the mountain dogs annoyed as they serve as security here. Her shoulders look fragile to me for the first time. And now I'm sure of Rita-chan's story. Takano-san holds an indescribable sadness within her. And if someone approached her, pretending to understand, she might just fall for it. Because of my position, anything I say to her will only hurt her more, probably. Sometimes words can harm people no matter how they're used. But the fact that I still spoke up showed how little experience I had in life.
せめて今後の予算配当を高野さんのやりたい研究に優遇しましょう。少なくとも3年の継続は勝ち取れたんです。その3年間で精一杯の
It was all a slip. Even as I spoke, I started to regret trying to say anything. Whoa. It's a rare Takano face. We've never seen that face before.
死の病にかかり、痩せ衰えていくのを3年も見守るのも辛いものですわよ。
If I remember right, Dr. Takano came with acute dementia and chose to commit suicide while his mind was still functional, out of despair at his inability to continue his research further. My verbal slip had made her remember a painful memory and hurt her even more.
最後には眠ったままになり、生命維持装置の電源を切ることをいつかは選ばされる。ねえ、入江所長。その電源を切るのを、所長がその患者の担当医だったら誰にやらせますか？まさか、所長がその電源を切ったりはしませんわよね。
Takano-san asked me as if it was a normal question. She's only expecting to hear one answer.
もしそういう状況になるのなら、最後のスイッチは残されるご家族に委ねるでしょう。
ですわよね。まさか今生の別れの日にその場に立ち会わないわけがない。私はひなみ沢症候群の最後に立ち会いますわよ。絶対にね。
Someone knocked on the door and I heard the voice of one of the other staff members.
所長、午後の診療が始まります。準備をお願いいたします。
ああ、申し訳ありません。今参ります。
私が片付けておきますわ。所長は診療室へお急ぎくださいな。いつものお年寄りたちがよもやま話をしたくて大勢お待ちでしてよ。
Takano-san laughed, but I know that laugh was trying to conceal her anguish. Not close to her personally, but she is my partner here at the clinic. I've been trying to avoid getting close to her, but maybe that was a mistake. If I had listened to her more, maybe I could have eased her pain a little. But it's too late. Tomodachi-san is conducting an investigation to prove her innocence. Is she guilty or not? Either way, her heartache remains. After Irie left, Takano sat down on the sofa again and stared at nothing for a while. Then she got up and picked up the phone on the desk.
高野です。おこのぎはいる？私よ。20日からのつもりだったけど、今日から R の周辺監視を開始して。
Ooh, plot twist.
え？別にいいでしょ？それとも、今日は暑いから嫌だとでも言う気？
Did Irie accidentally hype her up or something? That's unlucky.
ええ、お願い。結婚日まであと5日。慎重に慎重を重ねても罰は当たらないわ。ええ、よろしく。
はい。
Oh, Kanoji. It's good to see you, bro. Ochinogi put down the phone and sighed. Although it's his job to do whatever Takano wants, he couldn't help but complain about getting such an order on an extremely hot day. Of course, if he complained, Takano would spit back twice as much reproach. Ochinogi was sitting in the office of Ochinogi Gardeners, a dummy company. As it happened, they regularly did gardening in Hinamizawa, if only so that nobody would get suspicious to see their uniforms and van around. Skylark, my boy. I don't respect Nightingale. Those are the people that shot Oishi, I think.
監視体制をすべて3日前倒しにする。初日は白鷺だったな。4名体制、通話監視1、サポート1、R タク監視1、サポート1。
This is pretty troubling though, since we have a lot less prep time because unless Akasaka is a god at distracting, they'll probably find out that she's, and if they find out she's missing, then they'll obviously panic, but yeah, not a lot of time, I guess. I don't think we've ever heard of Huron as a group. I just don't remember them. Maybe.
ウグイスの予定だったが、招集には1日かかるだろう。大鳥でやる。
Phoenix, I remember Phoenix. Those guys were the jobbers, dude. They were getting their ass beat.
大鳥7、工作チームを編成して今夜中に完了させろ。可能か？
もちろん。電気工作要員の訓練は十分です。
The Mountain Dogs are different from a regular battle unit. They're a technical squad formed from specialists in different fields of espionage. They were covert operatives for sabotaging telephone stations like Otonogi just ordered. One's for wiretapping, intelligence gathering, information manipulation, establishing networks in public institutions, and many other various specialized fields. They belong to the self-defense force. Some are from the fire departments, some are from police departments, and some are civil engineers. Of course, they have some experts in combat as well. Maybe that's why they're losing. They're not actually experts in combat, huh? That actually explains it pretty well. Otonogi is one of those combat experts, and he didn't expect too much from the engineers. But they had all gone through the same basic training. What they were capable of child's play compared to what an expert can do. I wonder if he's actually putting this in to explain why they're getting their ass beat in Higurashi, because I still think, while it was epic, it was still kind of weird how literal teenagers can be trained mercenaries, but this is actually a pretty nice explanation. Otonogi is the leader of a unit who made up of mostly of members who can't even do 100 push-ups. Really, that was the only complaint he had. He'd rather been put in charge of the Bloodhounds. But somehow he became leader of the strange unit, maybe because his cautious yet courageous personality. Since combat was his expertise, Otonogi wished deeply for combat. During the kidnapping incident 5 years ago, the plan for the resisting criminals to leave the hostage behind on the scene and run after the police stormed in. He recalled the extremely frustrating memory of his combat with a plainclothes officer. The fat old man was acting so arrogantly, but he could have taken him within a matter of seconds. Oh shit, I never realized Otonogi was, or did I realize? I feel like, I don't know. So Otonogi was the one brawling with Oishi, huh? He could have just broke his neck. He could have turned him around and snap. I really thought that, the Sonozakis were the people who obviously the Mountain Dogs kidnapped him, but I thought the Mountain Dogs like gave the child to the Sonozakis and then they just left him there, not actually involved. But I guess it was like one Sonozaki member, one Otonogi. It would have been so easy for him. He remembered a young policeman too. He shot him in his shoulder, but he could have shot at his ear. He was told to go easy on them, and that was the best he could do. He thought of firing a second shot, but there just wasn't time, so the last shot he fired was the reluctant one. Otonogi couldn't believe that such a pathetic battle was his last combat job. Regardless, he continued to train so that he was ready at any time. Now that the operation had begun, he was hoping there would be a battle for him to fight. He didn't even need to fire a shot. He didn't even need to punch anyone. All Otonogi wanted was a battle that satisfied his pride and nothing more. Okay. Interesting. He is also the president of Otonogi Gardeners. Because of that, the members of the Mountain Dogs often called him that. It's the boss, the secret boss. Rattle, rattle, crash. I heard a noise which sounded like many buttons crashing down. Dude, Satoto's trapping it up, dude. We have less time on the trap prep, but a heavily trapped battlefield from Satoto is actually like a pretty big game changer. Again, with the knowledge that these guys are kind of chumps when it comes to actual combat. But like, to be fair, like they don't actually plan on doing any actual combat besides maybe fighting a couple of kids, so it made sense, but it was probably a noise from one of Satoto-chan's traps. Oh, this is Atlasaka. Okay, I thought we were in the mountain. Ooh, that means someone got hit with one of Satoto's traps. That's so good. According to a trap map, anyone going near the wiretapping shack will set off a trap that makes a loud noise. That must have been it just now. I scouted around the shack last night before the girls left. The shack is very secluded and is located in a blind spot where nobody is likely to know. So this noise means something important. It means they've started their observation of Rika-chan. I can't let them notice that girls aren't home. They'll definitely call and come by to confirm they're here. So I have to make sure that the girls are sick in bed and that they don't hear the phone or the doorbell. The curtains are closed so they can't see what's going on inside of the house. But to be certain, their beds are stuffed to make sure it looks like they're sleeping. This is good. I actually wanted this because we were just questioning how well Akasaka can keep up this appearance. Also, we want to make sure Akasaka is safe, though. I'm sure now that we know some of them are more chumpy, more technical. I don't think he's too likely to die, but like, remember those officers that just freaking K'd those two police officers in a surprise attack? So he still needs to be careful, because you do have taser guns that kill you. However, I have to be even more careful from now on. I can't let them notice I'm staying here. For that matter, I have to make sure I can act when something happens. The phone rang suddenly. Just as I expected. They're calling to see if anyone's home. They're already aware that they didn't go to school, so they're probably assuming that they're home, sick in bed. I'm sure they want proof of that. The phone rang for a long time, which convinced me that it was indeed a call from the mountain dogs. If there's no answer on the phone, the next step would be to come by the house. Or pretend to be a mailman or a neighbor and knock on the door. But I don't even need to answer it. If the girls are too sick to answer the phone, then they won't notice a knock on the door either. That increased hassle means a higher risk of discovery, but on the other hand, it also proves our enemy is closing in on us. It was actually better for me since I could measure the severity of the situation. Besides, Irie is our ally, and he already knows Rika-chan is somewhere else. He's supposed to tell them that he came by because he heard Rika-chan and Satoko-chan mistral, and that the two of them were in bed and shouted and should be left alone for a while. He's supposed to say that. They won't doubt Irie. They will believe him. You could call this an advanced level of mutual deceit. They believe that they're deceiving Irie, but in reality, Irie is deceiving them. However, they're professionals and we're a bunch of amateurs. Well, not me at least. Actually, maybe I'm not an exception. I don't know what they got until I come face to face with them. Our conditions aren't even. We're leading by a tiny bit because we made the first move. Once that's done, we don't stand a chance. I promised Rika-chan that I trust her unconditionally. So even without proof, I'm ready to fight. But I can't beat this conspiracy by myself. And to gain help from others, Toмотaki has to find proof. Toмотaki is in charge of our first attack. That means he's in the most danger too. It's understandable that Rika-chan kept warning him to be very careful. He should have started his investigation as early as last night. If that's the reason why they've begun observing Rika-chan, I can only pray for his safety and the success of the investigation. I heard a voice. Irie had arrived. heard footsteps coming up the stairs and a quiet knock.
大丈夫。私一人です。
もう少しここへに。この家はすでに敵の監視下にあります。
I let Irei in and closed the door quickly.
お疲れ様です。窓も満足に開けられないとあっては、まるで蒸し風呂ですね。これは差し入れです。
He handed me a plastic bag. It contained ice cream, canned juice, and some snacks and even beer. I was about to say, you're gonna drop us a nice cold drink, but yo, Irei with the hookups. Oh, this obviously isn't for Rita-chan. I feel he's been a little careless. That is true. It's a little suspicious. But I am grateful.
いかがですか？こちら。
さっきこの家の電話を盗聴する監視小屋に何も、それから呼び出しの長すぎる電話が1件。おそらく学校を欠席したことを知り、在宅確認のために電話してきたのでしょう。あなたもリカちゃんたちの様子を見てこいと誰かに言われたのではありませんか？
高野さんからリカさんたちが学校を欠席したのに病院に来ないから不安だと様子を見てきてほしいと言われたんです。
やはり
リカさんとさとこちゃんの欠席を不審に思われたんでしょうか？
いえ、多分富武さんが内定を開始したことと関係があるんじゃないかと思います。
Actually, neither, I think. Unless, the China lady was calling Otonodi because she found out someone was investigating it. That could be it, too.
もしなかったとしても、今回の動きは彼にとって尻尾をつかむチャンスになるかもしれません。
どちらにせよ、もう何かが始まっているということなんですね。
そう見て間違いないでしょう。私たちの敵が高野と山犬なのか、そうではないのか。どちらにしてももう敵は動き出しているのは間違いありません。
ひなみ沢村連続開始事件。最初の2年は偶然が重なっただけでした。しかし3年目から高野さんはそれを面白がり、綿流しの夜に何かが起こり続けることを期待しだしたように思います。
綿流しのお祭りはあさって。敵が動き始めるタイミングとしては妥当かもしれませんね。そして5年目にリカちゃんを狙う高野か。恐ろしい女です。
リカさんがしていた高野さんの話、あれはどれも本当だと思います。今日初めて知ったんですが、彼女はひなみ沢症候群の第一発見者、高野先生の養女だったんです。
同じ高野ですね。
彼女にとってひなみ沢症候群の研究を受け継ぐことは尊敬する祖父との絆だったんです。その研究が打ち切られることが確定した。それは彼女にとって祖父を冒涜するものなんです。
すべてリカちゃんの言っていた通りということですね。
はい。それと高野さんがこんなことも言っていました。3年で打ち切られることが決まっている研究を寿命が幾ばくもない眠ったままの患者に例えるんです。そしてその生命維持装置のスイッチを切るならば、それは残された家族の権利だ。
I didn't really think of that too hard, but that's actually like it's pretty good for the situation. So she's saying she has the right to end the research early. Oh man.
どうせ打ち切られる研究ならば、それに幕を下ろすのは高野先生の遺族。
はい。
Oops. Getting a little frisky on this. Slipping.
そういう意味で言ったものと思います。
We gathered the circumstantial evidence we need. Hatano is, in fact, our enemy. Yuri had been reluctant to accept it yesterday, but now he believes what Rita-chan said is true.
あとは富武さんに高野さんが企んでいる何らかの証拠を掴んでもらうだけです。そしたら関係者を一斉に拘束するための鎮圧部隊を呼び寄せるそうです。
高野は山犬なる特殊部隊を配下に持ちます。それを鎮圧できるような。
はい。私も名前しか知らないのですが、番犬という部隊がいるそうで、本当の非常事態が起こった時、
I should have said it, dude.
強襲する戦闘部
I
隊。
was literally just about to say, oh man, are they gonna send the bloodhounds against them?
山犬はどちらかというと機密保持などの情報部隊の性格が強いので、多分それよりはるかに強い部隊なんでしょう。
表に出せぬ研究をする機関の万が一の造反に対応する鎮圧部隊となれば、多分相当の強さを持つでしょう。つまりそのいわゆる番犬部隊とやらを
That would definitely help.
に呼び寄せることが我々の勝利条件になる。
そういうことになるんでしょうか。ただ一つ不安なのは、緊急マニュアルには機密保持のために村を封殺することを認める記述があることです。番犬部隊が来てもやることは彼らと同じで、結局は村ごと。
いえ、
Oops, 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 oops.
敵の狙いが緊急マニュアルの執行にある以上、それでは何の意味もありません。この陰謀が派閥構想によるものならば、入江機関のクライアントたちの派閥は絶対に穏便に済まそうと思います。おそらく敵を吸収し、村人たちが何事かと目を白黒させているうちに決着させてしまうに違いありません。
I know this because I've done similar jobs myself. They'll pass through the gale and complete their operations swiftly. And a unit capable of pulling that off against the mountain dots must be very powerful.
とにかく富武さんからの連絡を待つしかありませんね。
ええ、これは持久戦です。ですが一度有事となれば、それは電撃戦に様変わりする。緩急の差の激しい辛い戦いになります。入江先生は敵の腹中にいる心強い存在ですが、同時に最も危険な場所にもいます。常に油断せずにいてください。私たちはリカちゃんの味方になろうと決めた時点で、すでに彼らの敵なのですから。
はい。
The phone at this house, of course, is being wiretapped, so Irie had to come over to communicate with me. But that won't work in an emergency. The telephone is still better in that case. For those instances, I put together a memo for Irie. There's a method for communicating over a phone that's but, yeah, code words and stuff. It's something that I came up with out of necessity once.
これは
緊急時用の私への電話連絡方法です。絶対に敵に奪われないでください。危険な時には必ず飲み込んで処分するように。
盗聴されているのにどうやって電話で連絡を？あなたが受話器を取れば、たとえ無言であっても疑われかねないのに。
受話器を取らなくても連絡することはできます。
Oh, is it like number of rings?
少々コツのいる不便なやり方ですが、一番確かな連絡方法です。そしてそれは敵の動きを最初に察知できるあなたにしか発することができない。
わかりました。それでやり方は？
メモに書いてあります。簡単に説明すると、電話の呼び出し音の長さで連絡するのです。相手に電話をするとき、1分以上呼び鈴を鳴らし続けることはほぼありません。それを利用した呼び出し音による連絡方法です。
Okay.
1分半なら 緊急事態。直ちにその崎邸へ急行せよ。こんな感じで、30秒区切りで緊急性の高いメッセージが仕込んであります。他のメッセージはメモを見てください。でも、この1分と1
Oh,
分
sorry.
絶対に暗記してください。私の命がかかっていますので。
The message that lets me know my life is in danger is the shorter call. But if it's too short, I'll get confused with regular phone calls. That's why to signal me he's supposed to hang up the phone within 3 seconds first, then place the emergency call. The reasons why I use such a large difference of time is to make sure there's no misunderstanding. The tones the caller hears and the rings the receiver sends out are a little different. I don't want that little difference to change the message, which is why they had to be 30 seconds apart.
まず短く1回鳴らし、1分なら逃げろ。1分半ならリカさんたちのところへ向かえ。はい、覚えました。
少々面倒と思いますが、あくまでも緊急事態用ですので、くれぐれもよろしくお願いいたします。
ええ、わかりました。危険な時の連絡は任せてください。
最後に、もう一つだけ暗記してください。とても嫌な暗号ですが、これも忘れないでください。この連絡に限り、短い1回は不要です。連絡方法は、3分以上
3
鳴ら
minutes.
し続けること。電話をかけたまま受話器を外し、そのまま放置するのがいいでしょう。
その暗号の意味は？
連絡員に緊急事態。以後、連絡不能。
Okay. I mean, that's good to have.
それは、私の身に危険が及んだ時という意味もあるんですね。
はい。緊急時にはこの家へ電話し、そのまま受話器を外し、安全な場所に身を隠してください。ただ、自らの危機を図るのはとても難しいことです。まだ大丈夫、多分大丈夫などと思っているうちに、連絡の機会さえ逃してしまいかねません。少しでも嫌な予感がしたら、緊急時と判断していいでしょう。陰謀の度合いから考えて、敵は私たちを生かしはしません。くれぐれもご用心を。
わかりました。その場合、あなたはどうするんですか？
その際は状況によりますが、私もここを脱出します。あなたに危機が迫る以上、リカちゃんの身にも危険が迫っている可能性が高いですから、私はその崎邸を目指し、リカちゃんたちとの合流を目指します。あくまでもこれは最悪の事態です。このような事態に陥ると決まったわけではありませんので、緊張することはありません。どうか気を楽に持たれてください。
ですが、油断せずにですね。
そうです。
Yuri nodded deeply. It's almost time. Something is about to happen. Ooh, chapter in there. Okay, this was a very good episode, I think. I really liked the connecting talk with Irie and Takano, and the balls starting to move, so should start to see some action. I want to see more prep work though, with the squad here too. But yeah, we're gonna have to save that until next week. Thank you guys for watching as always, and next time we'll continue the arc. Maybe we'll get all the prep work done and the final battle will commence, or that might be the week after, who knows. But thanks for watching as always. Hopefully I'll see you then. Bye.